Well, I'm actually doing a number of roles this week for TechEd. The first role, I got the green presenter shirt on here, so we did a professional development seminar on Sunday night, and we're also doing vendor work for Windows IT Pro. We're judging the Best of TechEd competition, which we have winners, but the world doesn't know them yet. And in between things, I'm trying to squeeze in a few sessions also. So it's a very, very busy week, but it's the end of the spring conference season, so we'll all be ready to go home and chill out for a little bit. The professional development seminar that we did on Sunday was very interesting and near and dear to my heart because it's about the IT pro's career, and especially, of course, you can't talk about IT pro careers without starting to talk about cloud computing and fears and all that sort of stuff. And I actually, I have a video that is associated with the seminar that I think it will become more broadly available, and it's called Bulletproofing Your IT Pro Career. So that was fun to do. A lot of the concern for IT pros, it was interesting because there was a developer room next door. We had it split out into developer and IT pros, and the IT pros were very serious in this room to talk about that. And next door, you could hear the developers whooping it up. They're having fun, you know, because they've got cloud to develop for, and they got mobile to develop for, and they're laughing and having a good time, and distinctly different atmosphere over in the IT pros thing. But really, I think a lot of it is unnecessary. Cloud computing is both evolutionary and revolutionary, and I think the base of fear for IT professionals losing their jobs and all that was when we first started talking about cloud computing. We talked about it implied public cloud. Cloud meant public cloud, and so when cloud computing was just starting to take hold, cloud was only public cloud, and so if it's in the public cloud, then it goes away and all that. And as the discussion has matured, we start realizing, you know, no, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't belong in the public cloud. So it actually, it's all about private cloud, your on-premise private cloud, and maybe even an off-premise private cloud. There's a lot of confusion around this. I wrote an article called Cloud Computing 101 that's been very popular with people because it actually kind of lays out all of the angles of the different cloud computing models and all of the terminology so that it makes sense. Because it is very confusing. And I've got another one that in the works that's talking more about the private cloud and the move to the private cloud and why. Now, from the IT pro's career viewpoint, well, they smile when you start talking about private cloud because to have a private cloud means you have to have on-premise servers that have to be maintained and all that. So that's it's a good thing, and really there's still tons of opportunities for the IT pro because this private cloud has to be built, and there is a lot of companies have worked on virtualization, but virtualization by itself, even virtualization with a self-service portal, is not private cloud. That's the very beginnings of it. But there's all sorts of other layers that have to take place before you actually get to the customer up here. And that has to be built. And the IT pro and the developer have to do it. And in the Microsoft world, that's all going to be done with PowerShell. So PowerShell is something that everybody needs to be learned. PowerShell is about to be expanded and vastly, its scope is going to broadly increase. So that's a very important thing. I would say the areas, and some things will change and some jobs will go away. Whether or not that means the actual person's job will go away is another story. If you are a server administrator and you don't do anything else and it's for a type of application that is outsourced, that is popular and being pushed out to the public cloud, then I would be looking at learning some other skills so that you can move around in the company. But there's still going to be plenty of need for IT pros in the cloud computing model. So Jeffrey Snover told a great story about PowerShell, and this is an opportunity to mention it. He said that last year at TechEd, he was walking down Bourbon Street, and a sysadmin came up to him and said, "Hey, I really got to thank you about this PowerShell sort of thing." And he wanted, let me tell you this story, okay? And so the guy's been there in his company for a while, and he's kind of topped out in his salary range and all that, and he knows how all that goes. And his manager told him that you need to learn PowerShell for whatever reason he didn't. So I was like, oh man, I hate scripting. I don't want to do PowerShell. I said, sorry, that's your job. Learn PowerShell. So okay, so he's got a priority. So he actually has to learn it. So a week later, he loves it. You know, now he knows how to use it and all that. He loves it to death, and he starts using it, you know, to automate this, automate that. And actually, I talked to one of my ex-colleagues from Intel, and just doing the same thing, loving it, you know, using it for everything. And so he uses it for 6 months, and you know, and he's automating all this stuff. And so he goes into his annual performance review, and he knows, like I said, he's kind of topped out of his pay grade, and it's kind of a formality. Here's your 1%, good job, and you know, so he takes the sheet and says, oh, thank you very much. And the manager goes, no, 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 no. Look at your review sheet. And the guy picks it up and looks at it, and he got a 17% raise for having done all this work and saved all this money using PowerShell. So he told Jeffrey that, and so Jeffrey's way he describes this now is he says, I don't think of it as automation putting people out of a job. I like to think of it as helping IT pros make more money. Well, like I said, the conference season is slowing down a little bit. I have lots of editorial work to catch up on, some articles that have been in the queue in conferences, and you know, and doing some. I did an online seminar a couple weeks ago on Active Directory. So now that that's behind me, really focusing on catching up on. It's amazing how little it takes to get behind with where things are in IT right now. It's crazy fun to be able to do something like that. So really, it's a lot of catch-up work. The magazine and I will be at VMworld in August. Virtualization being a key underpinning of cloud computing. And yeah, keeping busy.